Hi, I'd like to show you some stretches that might help you work with sciatica. So sciatica is essentially just a garbage bag term that is caused from pressure on the sciatic nerve, and it could be localized pain in the hips or the low back, or it could radiate down your legs. So the thing that has helped me the most with my sciatica is asymmetrical stretches where one knee is bent and the other leg is straight. And you can come into hip flexion and into spinal extension to avoid too much posterior tilt in the pelvis. Okay, so I have a couple of cork blocks, and there's a link in the video notes if you want to buy quickly a couple of blocks and a strap, because you'll need those for this. And cork blocks are the most stable because they're heavier and they don't move around, and if you get them wet they won't get moldy like the foam blocks do. But you could also just use a table, or you could use a chair or a couch or something like that. So I like to use a couple of blocks. So I'm going to stack up a couple of blocks, and it's helpful if you have a wall or something if you're working with your balance. So I'm going to use my fireplace here, and I'll put my right foot on the two blocks, and I'm just going to be careful here. I'm going to find a little bit of distance between my left leg and my right leg. I'm going to come forward and stop. When I'm engaging my core, I have a little bit of cobra in the chest. So when I say cobra or bhujangasana, I mean that I am in spinal extension rather than flexion, okay? Because we don't want to come into too much flexion, because often that encourages us to harden our glutes and will create even more of a problem than there was before. Okay, so I'm really taking time to come down, and I can just put my hand on the foot, or I can walk down and maybe I put my hands on the wall instead, or I can put my hands on the floor if that is available. Oof. Just take lots of deep breaths here. And over time, you might change the orientation of the stretch. You might lean forward or back a little bit. Feel free to turn a little closer to that leg. And we'll take a few breaths, and when you feel ready, you might come on up, nice and slow, and we'll switch sides. Okay, so I'm going to put my block now underneath my left foot, standing on my right leg. I'm going to take my time coming forward and down. My core is engaged. I'm going to slowly lower. Okay, I could put my hand on a wall in front of me, or if I was using a table, you could put your hands on the table. And I'll just spend some time here. And you want to avoid spinal flexion until the very last possible moment. So as much as you can, trying to stay engaged in the core and lengthened through the chest rather than rounded through the chest. Take another breath and then slowly come on up. And then we'll use the blocks to help us. I'm going to put the blocks right here. I'm going to bring my right leg in front of my left, and I'll turn my heels out away from one another. Okay, sort of like a ballet position, any of you that have come into dance classes. But unlike that position, I can't remember which one it was, even though I was a ballet dancer for years, you don't want to lock that back knee and get the legs super close. You might have a little bit of space in between, and you want to make sure that the knees are soft to support the joints as you come down. Slowly, maybe putting your hands on blocks. And you can use your hands on your legs or on blocks to walk around, and you can put more weight on the front leg or the back leg, and you'll just find the stretches that serve you. There's a lot of sensation to deal with in here. You want to come down as far as you like, and just take some time there, take some deep breaths. Maybe let your neck relax and release your jaw. And to come up, you softly bend the knees, hug the inner thighs together, walk up the legs, and then you can just take that front leg and just whoop, send it back. Okay, and then we'll slowly come on down. Take your time, take your time. You want to give your body some time to get into a deep stretch. If you come in too strong and too fast, your body will think it's needing to protect you and it'll lock up. So let's take a few more deep breaths here. I'll take one more breath. Oh, maybe some more. Oh, this feels really good. Now, come up nice and slow, hug the inner thighs together. Feel free to use a wall for balance support. And now I'm going to sit down, and sitting on the floor, I'll cross my right ankle over my left, and you'll just do both, okay? So you can cross your right ankle over your left. And if this is too hard to sit up here, I like to sit on a folded blanket. And again, in the video notes, there's links to some really good quality but cheap props for you. Okay, so I sit up really tall and take my right ankle over my left thigh. I'm going to lean through my chest, lift through the heart, and continue to walk forward. And feel free to put your hands on blocks or on the floor, or even just on your legs. And if you had a strap here, you could put your strap around your feet, and that would be a really easy way to come forward, because not everybody has the same level of flexibility. You want to make sure that your breath is flowing deeply, because then you're safe and you're paying attention to what you're doing. Let's take one more breath, and we'll come on up. And then switch. Take your left ankle over your right and start to walk forward. And each side might feel different than the other. So this is my more open and flexible side. So maybe I'll flex that front or top foot rather. Coming forward, we'll take a few deep breaths there. And you could come to one side or the other. So just get curious with it and see what all different sensations you can create while you're there, because why not? Ooh. Yowza. And you can come on up. And then the last thing to close this sciatica practice is we'll do an IT band twist. So the IT band runs from the ilium to the tibia, so all the way down the side of the leg. Come down slow. You can use your core to come down. And you could put a small blanket under your head if you wanted to, but if at all possible, keep your neck stable. So it's best if you don't have anything under your head. Okay, now we're going to move our stuff out of the way. I'm going to take my right leg up, and I could use my strap around my feet here, but for now I'm just going to hold my leg. I'm going to try to keep my leg as straight as possible. And since I don't have a strap, I'm just putting my left hand on the inside of my right leg, and I'm going to come over and be very careful with it. And luckily I have this wall here that I can put my foot against and prop it up. So you could use a wall, you could use your hands, or you could use a strap. The strap is the easiest that you can use anywhere, and feel free to reach out through the other arm. And just try to stay there as long as feels comfortable for you. And then when you're ready to come back, just help your leg come up and then come down. And since we have blocks, you could take blocks and you could put them as a prop for your leg. So I'm going to put my blocks down just a little bit. I'll pick up my left leg, take a breath, and then very carefully and slowly I'm going to come on over. And you can stack up the blocks in any level that feels good for you. I'm scooting my hips back to make more room for my spine. And I'm keeping my leg straight so I can get the maximum relief and benefit from the twist. You can stay here as long as you like. You can stay here all day. And whenever you feel ready, you might just roll onto your side, stacking your knees, and come up slowly. And if you got some relief from this video, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. It helps me to make more videos for you. So feedback and questions are always welcome. You can put those in the video notes. Thanks for watching.